Good to see you all. I've got some familiar faces around, some very new ones as well. It's nice to see everybody's here. Bit of a new one for me, this, with the headset. It's a bit unusual. But so you're either listening to me or a podcast, I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. So I'm Chris Broadbent. I'm the technical marketing manager for ST's microcontrollers, microprocessors, BLE and sub-gigahertz products. But despite being marketing, I am an engineer, so I do kind of know what I'm talking about. I've been out of it for a little while. So I've been with ST for 17 years now, but a background in electronics. What am I going to talk to you about today? We'll talk a little bit about the STM32 and why it's important for you. Something about the new additions to the STM32 family. This is as a basis to go on to talk about Nano Edge at the end, because what I want to demonstrate to you is that you can run AI machine learning on any microcontroller. It doesn't have to be a dedicated special microcontroller. We have those, but you have the option to run it on pretty much everything else. Security is obviously important these days, so we will just touch briefly on security right at the end, just because I want to make you aware of what ST has as an option there. So let's go. I am going to skip the section on ecosystem. I wrote these slides for a longer presentation and then found out it was only 30 minutes. So I'm going to skip that particular section. It's less important than the others. So, putting developers first. What do we mean by putting developers first? First of all, can I ask, how many of you are using or have used the STM32? Nice show of hands. Thank you for that. Thank you. So, ST is the #1 general purpose microcontroller vendor in the world. We have been for the last 2 years. So we're the first choice of many developers in worldwide or in Europe for 32-bit microcontroller. 1 in 3 designs in Europe is an STM32. 1 in 4 designs within the world is an STM32. It's very popular, so those using it are in very good company. It's there as an established product. And we're here to support you, not just with the silicon, but with the software that we can provide and the support we can provide. When we're looking at new products and developing new products, we're looking at you, our developers, our product adopters, and we focus on 3 key areas right now in terms of new products, new ideas, etc. Connectivity. Everybody's interested in connectivity, so we're developing more and more wireless connectivity and integrating that into microcontrollers. So when we talk about connected products, they are genuine microcontrollers, but with an RF component added to it, not an RF product that has a bit of availability of the microcontroller. Advanced security, that's more and more popular this morning, right now. I think there was a talk here this morning on CRA. It's very, very important to everybody right now. And then the reason you're all here for this talk, I guess, is AI and embedding AI, making it available at the edge and making it simpler to use. And all that sits on top of our core criteria or our core abilities. So what can we offer? Well, we can offer, real-time performance, power efficiency. We have very efficient low power devices. We have high-end devices with advanced peripherals, all integrated. So very advanced integration into microcontroller and an ecosystem to support you, whatever the development is you're doing. And all of that sits on top of nearly 4,000 different part numbers for STM32. So the challenge is to find a part that actually doesn't fit your needs. You could easily find a product that fits your need, whatever that is. And very important to us is the 10-year longevity commitment. In that, if you're designing a product now, you know it's going to be available when you come to market and when it's established in the market. You're going to be able to get the parts. With those 3,700 part numbers, it's very hard to find what you want. So we divide it into 5 categories. Wireless microcontrollers, ultra low power microcontrollers, mainstream microcontrollers, which is pretty much everything that doesn't fit into the 2 categories to the left or 2 to the right, the high performance microcontrollers, and the embedded microprocessors. And all of that is covered by many package types, cores from Cortex M0 Plus all the way through to M7s, and then into microprocessors with Cortex A. Small amounts of flash up to 2-4 megs of flash. This slide's a bit out of date. It's actually we're now up to 4 megs of flash in the devices. So what's new? Just touch on a few things new rather than the whole portfolio before we get to the Edge AI type areas. Portfolio is huge. We have a very large range of products. As I say, anything from M0 Plus all the way through to M7s. Wireless MCUs, whether that's BLE or sub-gigahertz, we can support. Microprocessor at the top, the MP2, we have just launched. It's on the Anglia ST standard, you can see. And coming very soon, later this year, will be the N6, which will have integrated neural coprocessor with it to give you some advanced high-performance edge capability. On the high-performance MCUs, we have the H5 and H7. They're the most advanced, highest performance devices that we have. Huge step in performance versus what we had previously. The H7R is the latest, which we launched this year, 600 megahertz Cortex M7. So very high performance. Designed to use with external flash, so it's very scalable within your application. You can fit the flash that you need. But more important, in some senses, is the new levels of security we can offer in those products. So if you're talking about a connected product, then you need to talk about security and higher levels of security. So we target CSIP level 3 for the security and ARM PSA level 3 as well. And these are also, the devices are certified to those levels. So your applications should be able to meet those levels. And we have the best in class performance of any STM32 to date on the graphics side. So we have our new Neochrome 2.5D block, which gives you a GPU for a microcontroller. H5 is our M33 product, so with TrustZone. So there you've got a step up in security as well. Trusted execution environment available for secure boot, secure firmware install, etc. And it gives you a good optimal place for price versus some of the previous products we had. On the low power side, we pride ourselves in a lot of the range of low power products that we have, whether that's an M0 Plus type product, with the new one being the U0, or low power does not necessarily mean low performance. So we have the U5, which is our latest Cortex M33, 160 megahertz, which gives you performance, graphics, and ultra low power at the same time. So yeah, the U0 is really targeting very, very low power. So those products that need longevity out of battery. So maybe you want to run a product for 10 years on the same battery without changing it. The U0 can target that. We integrate a lot of features in it to make it more cost effective in your design. So reducing the amount of external components you need to integrate. So that's why we talk about cost effectiveness, because a lot of the things you would normally integrate outside, you have on the product itself, like display controller. And the U5 being the flagship, the high performance, low power device, improved security. We have the same kind of security levels as we have on the H5. So we're targeting CSIP level 3, ARM PSA level 3, etc. with advanced graphics performance as well, and a higher performance device. On the wireless side, we have BLE and we have sub-gigahertz. The newest products being the WBA, which is our M33 product. For BLE, OpenThread, Zigbee, etc. We can support that. And then we have the WB0, which is M0 Plus supporting BLE only. So with the WBA, we have the M33 with Trust Zone. So there we have the improvements in security. We have CSIP level 3 support as well for the certification. And it's aimed at making development a lot quicker. And we just to add on, we will have a module available for this as well as a chip down design. And on the WB0, this is our low-cost device, our new low-cost device, where you have the M0 Plus BLE 5.3. We support features like isochronous audio, so BLE audio, angle of arrival, angle of departure, etc. And that's true of the WBA as well. But the target here is to support IoT devices that are low power, battery powered, M0 Plus, so it's a very low power, cost effective solution. And finally, I think on this section is microprocessor. So we have a range of microprocessors available now. We launched a number of years ago with the MP15, which is our dual Cortex A7 at 800 megahertz. Start of this year, we launched the MP13, which is a low-cost microprocessor, single A7 core. So entry level, where you need a Linux-based system at low cost. The MP13 is the solution, but you can also run it as a microcontroller using bare metal as well. So it gives you the option to use it as a high-performance microcontroller. And then the latest device, which we've just launched into production in next month, is the MP25, which is our next-gen high-performance microprocessor. So dual Cortex A35s with an M33 at 400 megahertz, the fastest M33 that we have available to us today. It has a neural coprocessor in there, which supports 1.3 TOPS. So that's dedicated for the neural side, for machine learning. And we also have advanced networking built into it. So the MP13 is designed to be low power microprocessor. As I say, it's low cost as well. Improvements in security, so like everything else, we target CSIP level 3. Also in this case, it's pre-approved for PCI, so payment card terminal type applications. So we have pre-approval with that, so we have customers that can design that in. And accessible, so you can use it with Linux, and you can use it with our OpenST Linux operating system and environment, or you can use bare metal if you want to use it as a advanced high-performance microcontroller. On the MP2, this is our new 64-bit microprocessor, dual A35s with the M33 core for the real-time. It's an industrial, like everything else we do, it's an industrial grade device. So it's designed for longevity in the field. So running for 10 years at full speed and lasting that 10 years. Despite being a microprocessor, it is also supported by our 10-year longevity commitment. So when you design it in, you know it's going to be around for a while. The GPU, the MPU, available 1.35 TOPS, is part of the GPU in this device. So you can run AI on the core itself, on the CPU. You can run it on the GPU, and you can run it on the MPU. So you can split your architecture how it suits. And then when it comes to networking and connected applications, or expansions, we have up to 3 gigabit Ethernet ports. We have PCIe Gen 3 for adding connectivity, USB 3, CAN-FD, etc. So now on to Nano Edge AI. So that's the precursor. That's just to say we have all these devices, and you can run AI on any of these devices that I've shown, or any of the devices in our portfolio, by utilizing a dedicated tool that we have, which is part of our ecosystem. So first of all, to talk about it in general terms, we have a number of concepts that you might be considering for any kind of edge AI application. It could be sensing, whether that's for predictive maintenance or for classification. You watch where it's determining whether you're sitting up, standing down, that kind of thing. Audio processing or machine vision. They're the four main categories that we look at. It's all very well having the hardware, but you need the tools to get you past that concept and get it to some software that you can run on the microcontroller, you can run on the microprocessor. So we provide the tool suite for that, and we have 3 solutions. NanoEdge AI Studio, which is more targeting the sensing side, so anomaly detection or classification. I'll talk about a bit more about this on the next slide, but here it's designed to automatically generate a library for you for your machine learning type application and make it really simple for you. STM32 Cube AI in the middle covers all application areas, or all the application areas that we have on the slide there. This is targeted where you have data scientists, you have a lot of data behind you, you're building your own neural network, and you want to run that on some kind of platform, a microcontroller or microprocessor. And Cube AI will help guide you towards selecting the right device for your product, and then converting the neural net, whether it's in TensorFlow or ONNX or any of the common platforms, and we'll convert it into something that can run on the device you have selected. And then finally, XLinux AI is for microprocessor, and effectively it gives you the same functionality as Cube.ai, in that it will take a standard model and will convert that into something you can run on the microprocessor. But why would you want to do it? What's the benefits of doing Edge AI? Latency. So getting rid of the latency in transmitting data to the cloud and the decision back to the end device. Improved accuracy by looking at the specific environment and it not being an averaged or a generalized environment. The devices can adapt themselves to the environment they're in. Reducing data transmission. So that's saving power, saving cost on bandwidth and connectivity. In some cases, you might not have connectivity. So you need to be making the decisions at the edge. Privacy. We talk about security, but also privacy of data. So do you want to be transmitting the data, especially when we're talking about vision? Where a camera's involved, people get very sensitive about their data being transmitted to somewhere else and stored. So keeping it local can often be very important. Sustainable on energy. This kind of relates to the data transmission as well, but if you're keeping things local, you don't need a cloud storage. You don't need server farms to support that. So you're saving on energy there. You're not having to power a server farm. And in often cases, it can be just used for improving the user's experience of your product. So tweaking it to that particular user's environment, tweaking the UI, the HMI, tweaking how it interacts with the user. So that decision needs to be made at the device, not somewhere in the cloud. So that's why we're really doing this. In the traditional way of developing an AI-based solution, machine learning solution, there are a number of steps you have to go through. Collecting the data, filtering the data, then creating a model based on that data, and training the model, training the neural net, and testing it, make sure it works. Convert it to something the device can actually use, deploy it on those devices, and then you need some kind of cloud computing time to support it, either to support it at runtime or even in the data creation, model creation side, using the cloud to performance to be able to support that development. But if you're running it on a microcontroller, do you really need all of that development to produce something that's going to run on something that's actually quite basic? And that's why we've introduced NanoEdge AI, in order that you can input your project parameters. What kind of microcontroller you're using, what sensing environment are you using. You might have a small set of data that you've developed in the lab as examples. You can utilize that and you integrate that into NanoEdge AI. That will analyze what you've given it and produce a pre-compiled library for you that you can integrate into your firmware. So it makes life a lot simpler for those cases. As I say, this is for anomaly detection, classification, those kind of cases where it's quite common. A lot of the environments and the data sets that are being analyzed are quite similar. You're doing similar things, so it's very easy. So we can produce a pre-compiled library that you can utilize in your firmware. And then you pass it on to the device, and the device learns on target, on the device. It does the final customization on the target itself. But what that means is you save quite a lot of time. You have the data set creation, but it's much smaller. You have the model creation side of it, the training and the testing. Conversion, it's done for you. When you get the library, it's there, it's ready to integrate into your firmware. Cloud computing time, very small. Maybe you've got a dashboard for your field of devices, so you have this. And maintenance, it's much simpler to use. So you save a significant amount of time in development and a significant amount of resource in terms of money and potentially developers. So that's just on that. So we have, just to touch on STM32 Trust, because security, as I said at the start, is very important to everybody. More so these days, especially when we're talking about connected devices. So ST has this concept, more than an ecosystem, a concept which is STM32 Trust. Yes, it's about product and about the features we have in the STM32s that can support security and make your application secure. Yes, it's about software to enable that, whether it's trusted execution environment, secure boot, etc. But it's also about education and training people about security. So we provide a lot of training for people just on general concepts of security, as well as on the specifics of the security of microcontroller. So we have these. What we did a few years ago is we looked at all our customers and their security needs, and we found that there were 12, that's the circle there, that the 12 pillars that were common to most people's security requirements. Somewhere in their application, they would have need for some of these, not all of them, but some of them. And we've identified these and mapped them onto the microcontroller, the ecosystem that we have, etc., and everything that we can offer to support you in your security or your search for improved security. So mapping them all on, what it means is we can estimate what levels of security you can target with any given microcontroller. So we have this chart which enables that and gives you a good idea of where you could end up if you follow our guidelines, if you follow the security, if you use the tools, if you use the features within the microcontroller to support your needs. And I mentioned it wasn't just about the devices themselves. It's about training. It's about giving you awareness of what's available from us, but also about the general concepts of security, and also anything else within the field of microcontrollers. We have a lot of training available to you. So feel free to check out all these links that are on the presentation. They will give you a good guidance into how to develop your application, whatever it is, whether it's an embedded AI type application, whether it's graphics, whether it's just about security, we can support you there. So that's me finished. Any questions? Do I need to do the QR now, or should we do the questions now?
If you could put the QR code up, yes. And are there any questions for Chris? If anyone would like to put their hand up. And don't forget to do the QR code so you get your credits for your continuous professional development. But do put the arms up where we can see you if you have any questions. There was quite a lot in there, wasn't there? You can always find Chris. You're around, aren't you?
I'm around. I'm on the Anglia ST stand, so I think that's C5. It's just through there in the front.
Yes, C5. So if there aren't any immediate questions now, unless you can think of any parting thoughts to give us.
Parting thoughts really is, well, we have, as you saw on the slide, we have a lot of different devices available. I think we can cover pretty much any needs you have, whatever the application is, even if it's something interesting, or especially if it's something interesting. Just come and talk to me, and we can identify the best device for your products. As I say, I'm the marketing manager for STM32s. I cover the whole of the UK and Ireland. So if you want to get in touch with me, we can discuss one-to-one whatever it is you need.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. If you could, before you go, leave your headphones on the chairs. I think some have gone missing. And in the meantime, if we'd all give a big hand to Chris. Thank you very much.
Thank you.